Okay, here's a video to look at new target, well, any offset data. These are for display objects, which are pop-ups or targets. These are their offsets. Here, using looking at the target. The thing with the target, it's constant, so a pop-up is spawning at the target, like damage numbers popping out, but they because of the changing, because they don't even need to be tied to the object. It's not as obvious as when it's moving around with an object. So, all right, let's just look at it. This is these target offset settings of zeros. There's nothing at all going on. What it is, the all of this higher I'm Roger, the ball with a 12, it could be his level or something, and the value bars is a single widget target attached to the target of the cube. The cube has a nose now, so you can see which direction it's facing with no offset at all. No offset. It's just stuck on top of the object. It's always tracking the object's location. Camera offset, you can shift it up, left. That's always in terms of the camera angle, so that's in screen space. So it translates the object's position, the cube, to the screen, and then the camera offset is in pixels from that position. So that's quite a neat way to just take it off the object. It's always above and to the left of it. Transform wise, that's kind of in terms of the base of the object usually. So the 0, 0, 0 point transform is kind of at the middle of the base of the square of the cube. So it can be a bit weird when you're getting close. You can also add, it's not that much, a object offset, which is always offset from, and this kind of overdoes it a bit if you look as you get close. This is in terms of distance from the object. So if we totally remove the camera offset and we're just 50 world space units, meters really, above the cube, always as you zoom out, it kind of automatically scales. You've got the scaling there. That's the canvas scaling. That's scaling the canvas size, but its position is just naturally scaling with proximity to the object because it's in world space translated to the screen. Okay. Cam offset does scale based on the scaling, so you would probably see it quite similarly. Put it massively high based on a camera offset. I just want to show you the scaling, how that might affect it. So it's just right. It actually gets nearer to, can you see how it gets nearer? That's based on the tail off of the scaling. Because its distance, the offset distance, is affected by the scaling, which has like a strong S curve at the end. Or strong, whatever it's set to. I think it's set to tail off pretty quickly down to 0. As it goes to 0, you can see it pops out of the object and it's there. You just have to look at the scaling a bit more to see that. But anyway, I wanted to look mainly at new object offset settings. So it's above, it's set with Y fixed axis, Y axis fixed. Okay, what does that mean? Right, say he's nodding, so I put some turn on it. There's the Y axis turn. Well, I'll just do, where'd he go? All right. He's actually gone under the map now. I'll do that when he starts, so he starts up. I must have set that at a low point and forced him onto the floor. Alright, so he's now nodding up and down because basically the cube is going up and down and he's facing his direction of movement, which is now up and down. So when we look at this, y-axis is fixed. So if you look at him from the side, no matter which way he's looking, the canvas is always directly above. You can see that in world space, it's always directly above him, regardless of his up and down motion. Now, if I remove y-axis fixed, what you will notice is if you look from the side, to get a side angle, profile of his nose, you can see that it's going behind him. The canvas UI widget, you know, its value bars, etc., do not tilt ever. They're always horizontal, vertical. You know, they're just fixed, non-tilted. But you can see their position is now behind him when he tips his head back, and in front of him when he tips his head forwards. That's the difference without y-axis fixed. Okay, so let's put some. I'm now setting it so it's above, to the right, and in front of him. Now with that tilt, say it was not actually above him, just to the right and the front, it's still going to reflect his tilt without y-axis fixed, because it's in terms of his rotation. So his forward would be going down from him in world space. If I fix this once, there'll be a lot less movement. Yeah, it'll become much smoother with y-axis fixed, even though there's no y-axis offset. So now it's always to the right of the cube and in front of him, the 100x and 100z. Just tends to be smoother. It's a tiny bit more performant. If there's no x and z also, it's a tiny bit more performant because it doesn't look at the rotation in terms of creating that position. The other thing I noticed is this can get a bit jerky. It depends, because I'm moving the WASD, that's jerking it anyway. But the more kind of rotational movement you have, this can stagger a bit. So if it's set to 0, if you're not seeing that and it's fine, 0 is more performant. It's not smoothing it at all. This is without smoothing. That's how it looks. I think if we maybe took the y-axis off it, you can see it just jerks a bit. It's kind of whoop, whoop, because it's you know, shifting position a few different dimensions at once, and it gets a bit jerky sometimes. So you can set this to lerp and make smooth out that position. Anything that's non-zero, it starts smoothing that position. 10's quite fast. I doubt you'd ever see it. It's quite quickly doing it every frame, quite a bit of a lerp. Yeah, even complex movements like that, that's what it's doing, and that sometimes translates to an odd position, which looks like a flicker, not a flicker, but a bit of a jerky movement. But it looks nice with the smoother. It's quite a fast smoother. It's quite nice. 2, this is very smooth. You'll never see any jerky motion, I think, with like 2 or 1 or something, because it's quite slow, but it might be lagging a bit his actual position. Wouldn't lag it a lot, it'll be always moving towards there. It's just as he's changing a lot, it'll be, you know, moving towards in front, above, and to the right, in front, above and to the front of him. Let's shift it behind him. I think actually the way it works, it will respond with a kind of lerp to take it behind him. You can't see that even, it's quick enough. If you put that on it, it will just snap to above him. So now the Y is always fixed directly above the object, and it's not looking at his up or down rotation. Quite a lot of smoothing on. Yeah, I mean higher number, less smooth but faster, or lower number, slower, 0 off. So anyway, there it is. I mean, you can. This is always going to be above by 100 and to the right and in front of where he's looking. That's how that looks. I mean, usually if you switch these off, it does become more performance, particularly Y fixed. As long as it's Y fixed and no X or Z, that's more performance. It won't be doing the lerp anyway. And then you can use the canvas to get more above, and then it's right, always looking at the camera. But it's an interesting feature. It's there if you need it. Whatever you're trying to achieve or create, then hopefully that would help. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's briefly the new offset data, how that's working.